and
Cathra.
Thanks. Sorry, had to double check on that. Catherine Lee.
Yes.
Thomas, Bulwark Exterminating. We're just want to follow up with you. We'd like to kind of, get some feedback from you guys on the service we provided the other day, and get your story actually as well on the scorpions, because your main concern was scorpions.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, of course you got a little one, so most parents are really concerned about their kids around scorpions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest fear for her, her being in that stage where she's crawling around on the floor, and not far from where she usually sits, we found a scorpion. So we definitely knew we had to do something.
Yeah.
Fortunately for you guys, the scorpion that you showed me was not a bark scorpion, the Arizona bark scorpion, which is the most deadly. So there should be some relief anyways.
Yeah.
I was very thankful to hear that news, because I was prepared to put glass jars in her crib, and I was prepared to do whatever it took to keep her safe. So to know that they weren't the most deadly was a relief.
Yeah. Which is also odd as well, because the desert haries actually don't come indoors that often. They actually make holes out in the desert, and they live in the holes. So I would assume that they were coming in because the season's changing, and they probably were looking for food or whatnot, and came up close to the house, felt the ventilation coming out of the house. I don't know if you've seen that before, but you have a J-rail on the bottom of your house, so the moisture from your house actually escapes. And scorpions are built to last, but they sense the moisture, and so feeling that moisture and that water, which is something they need,
Right.
it's hard to find in the desert. That desert hairy probably just walked right up into the house. They can actually fit through a width the size of a credit card. So
Wow.
it's pretty. Yeah, there are treatments. Hey. There are treatments you can do where you can seal the bottom of the house, but the house is supposed to breathe.
Right.
And so in your situation, especially since they're not desert, or since they're desert haries and not bark scorpions, not something I'd recommend. It's costly, and again, your house is built to breathe. It's supposed to breathe.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So bark scorpions will take a lot longer to get rid of, and again, because the way they're built and because they walk on their toes,
Right.
The surrounding neighborhood, especially if there's a problem. I don't know. Did you go to the website scorpionreport.org?
Yeah, we did.
What did you find on the website?
It didn't have any on this area when we typed in our address,
Okay.
but I put mine in that I had found one.
Okay.
So now the
Perfect.
I
somebody
have
else.
a question. We know we have the desert hares. Can more than one species of scorpion be in the same
Same area?
proximity? Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't tested whether they'll actually fight each other or not, but there's nothing to say that a desert hairy is going to make its territory, and a bark scorpion is not going to enter it. Yeah, no,
Right.
you could have both,
Okay.
but and the report is given. It's fairly new.
Yeah.
Scorpionreport.org is built so that you guys can report on it, and we add our information to it as well. If we don't have services in your area, we haven't had calls in your area, then it may show nothing right now, especially because your house is probably fairly new. How old is your house?
I think it's 5 years old.
5 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 5 years, if the area was bad with scorpions, you probably would know.
Yeah.
So you guys are good.
Yeah.
You guys are lucky.
Good.
So, yeah, you feel a lot better now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but again, if there ever is a problem with the service, or if you ever see any bugs, you call us back up, and we have a 48-hour guarantee that we will make room in our schedule to come back out within the next 40 hours to service your house. No extra charge if you're on a regular monthly or bi-monthly service. He recommended one or the other when he was done. Did he put you on a monthly or bi-monthly? Do you remember?
Yeah,
I think we did bi-monthly, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He recommended monthly, though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what we did.
Again, in your case, I think bi-monthly probably is fine. It's not if it's bad enough.
Right.
I mean, if you were seeing 3 or 4 a month,
Yeah.
Oh,
then
yeah.
you'd want to be on a monthly service.
Yeah. We didn't see
your
any.
your brother referred you, right?
Yes.
How did that work out?
He was extremely pleased with what you guys did for him.
Oh, yeah.
I think his problem was a little more severe than ours. So again, he has 3 kids and doesn't want to take any chances of getting them bit.
Right.
stung.
Right.
So he was very pleased, and he wouldn't have referred you guys to me if he didn't think you guys could do, what you promised. So that's good.
Yeah, that's excellent. We make sure everything we use inside the home is on a caution level, and I know that that's a chemical term, a pesticide term, but when you think of warning labels, you have your caution,
Right.
your warning, and your danger label. The caution is the lowest of the three. Your toothpaste, if you pull out your toothpaste, is actually a warning label. So we're using things in the caution label. Your toothpaste is a warning label.
Yeah.
Your Ajax could even be a danger label.
Right.
On that.
Yeah.
I don't remember on the Ajax or not, but your detergents,
Right.
your chloride and chlorine, sorry,
Sure.
is going to be much more toxic than the stuff we use.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we try to use products that are on the outside of the home the same way. So we actually try to put the safety of our technicians first.
Yeah.
Thinking that these are the guys that are using it all day. If
Right.
they're okay, if we can feel confident that we're not going to affect them on a long-term basis in any shape or form, then we feel more comfortable having it in the home
Yeah.
for other people. So,
Right.
and then having a little one, I'm sure that's a concern. So,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and
So-
we also have dogs as well. So we have two little, little teacup Yorkies, and they're always sniffing around everywhere. So we want to make sure they don't get sick, and they were just fine.
that's actually the sniffing around part of it. That's actually one of the reasons that dogs get bitten by black widows a lot in the area. I don't know if you guys ever seen black widows in the area. Your brother had some black
Yeah.
widows.
We did too.
Yeah.
Did you have some black
Yeah.
widows? Yeah, black widows are really, they stay back. They don't really go out and hunt. Your scorpions go out and hunt, but the black widows will stay back, and so they're in their webs, and there's not that many encounters with people with black widows because they are, more reclusive. But your dogs will run around, and they'll be sniffing around the edges, and they'll get right up there. And the fleshy part of their nose is the part that they stick right up into this black widow's nest,
Right.
and that's where they get bit. And so there's probably a lot more, and they don't typically diagnose dogs, but there's probably a lot more problems with dogs getting bit by black widows in Arizona than stung by
Wow.
scorpions.
Wow.
The dogs, that's a fun.
Well, and I also had questions like, what are some common things that people can do besides having you guys come out and spray? But are there things around the house that you can do, like seal up vents, or if there's any holes, like behind my refrigerator where the water line comes in, the plastic cover that goes in the back is kind of loose. And one time I replaced the filter, and I noticed that when it pulled away, I could see into the drywall. So there's a crawl space in there. And should we try to seal that up? Do they ever come in through the walls and down through electrical outlets if they're loose, or holes? Or
Right, that's a great question. So what can you as a homeowner do to seal up these gaps and holes in the wall? You can, sure enough, you can take some caulking if you wanted around those and seal those up. The products that we put into your walls, we actually aim for those because just what you said, there's space around, there's gaps around there, and the moisture points under your sinks is where they're going to come in. They're going to be looking for water. So we aim for those areas and put the product back into the wall.
okay,
With a little duster. You probably saw him go into the wall when you said he was checking the outlets.
Right.
He was going into the wall with product and putting them back behind the wall.
okay,
As far as electrical outlets, that's a primary entry point. Because if you think of the studs in your house,
yeah,
when they built it, they drill holes all the way through your house, the studs, right?
yeah,
And then they put the electrical wire all the way through the house. The rest of the wall is pretty much filled with your insulation. So those bugs aren't going to be moving around a whole lot typically, up and down. But research has found actually at the University of Arizona, they've researched and they found that bugs will travel along those
I
wires.
was thinking.
So the product when we come into your house, it's why we target that area.
okay,
Is because we want the bugs to come across the product and die off. So
Yeah.
you're hitting their highways and their more
Yeah.
frequent areas. And the nice thing about it too is, again, since you have a little girl, we're putting the product where the bugs are and where the bugs live instead of where you live.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And then once we flush out the house on that initial service, as long as we're maintaining the barrier on the exterior of the home, the
Keep
bulwark,
them out. Yeah.
yeah, the word bulwark actually means barrier. So as long as we keep a bulwark up, those bugs won't come back in the house.
Nice.
And the products typically last from 30 to 60 days. So effective, really effective for the first 30 days. Arizona heat kind of gets to them, so they're less effective for the last portion of those 30 days.
Yeah.
But the products we use, according to the EPA, don't last much longer than that.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to.
Yeah.
They put regulations on products that leach to the soil and things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why a regular service is required, so that we keep them flushed out of the house.
Yeah,
We don't ever
absolutely.
want them to come back in the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we noticed that. I mean, if you live in Phoenix or in the desert, you're going to see bugs from time to time, and you see them, and you're and you take care of it. But when you get a scorpion in your house, I mean, it changes everything that you do. You're
Yeah.
paranoid about putting on your shoes. You have to get up in the
Yeah.
night to check the baby, and you're wondering, am I going to step on one? I mean, it alters your entire.
It's amazing how that little
Yeah.
bug or whatever you want to call it can change
Yeah.
everything about your life until
It's horrible.
it's cleared out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is not fun, and you're worried all the time. You're always looking around. You're not comfortable. You're not relaxed. I mean, you should be relaxed in your home. You got
Yeah.
that thing running around. You see one on the floor, and it's
And a lot of people are probably like us, where we wait until we actually see one and then we panic,
yeah,
and then we actually know now that we need to have the service. But really,
Yeah.
people should probably just have the service and then
yeah. Not worry about
not
it.
have to worry
Yeah.
and take a chance. I mean, especially when you have a baby.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not. I mean, if it was just us, maybe it wouldn't be such a, but
It still would be bad because
Yeah.
it really. I mean, you check your bed sheets. You don't know where they are. Are they in your
That's true.
clothes? Are they gonna bite you and sting you or whatever? And so we're glad to have you guys come over and
Yeah.
help us with
Yeah.
this.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I've had 3 different homes in the valley, and then the most recent one we moved into, it was the only home I've seen scorpions in.
Yeah.
And so on my level and my wife's level, I can relate. And when we moved in, we were seeing 3 to 4 a month.
Yeah.
Inside
it's
our house.
scary.
oh man.
And we got the service, we got it done, and here I am, an employee of the company, so I'm like, let's see how well this
Take
really
care of
works,
this, yeah.
and after we saw a few, again, your earlier question,
Yeah.
they are still coming out of the walls, they can be there for a while, they still live in the area, because they are, you'll find regions where there are scorpions.
Right.
That's why, again, the scorpionreport.org will let you know if you have scorpions around you. But having the service going from 3 or 4 a month down to like 1 or 2 after that, month, and then that 6 month after that, it was like we didn't see any. And there was a year and a half before we saw another one inside the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think you just panic when you see them. There's such a
Yeah.
stigma about them, and they're
Yeah.
just so creepy looking.
Yeah.
They're upsetting,
I
and you
mean-
don't know if you're sitting down. Is there one in the cushion?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want those in your house.
We
at
actually
all.
found one in between our couch.
Yeah.
And we reached down there because she drops her toys all the time, and we
Yeah.
reach our hands down there. And when I found the scorpion, I'm like, okay, so I took all the couches out, and we vacuumed and shampooed, and we found a dead one. But we reach our hands down there between the couch cushions all the time.
In between
Yeah.
the couch cushion.
Yeah. It was on the floor, but she dropped her
there where
toys
we
down, our
reached
sectional,
down.
and I reached down there all the time and grabbed her toys out. And
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
pretty freaky to know that thing was down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a good
So,
feeling.
No.
Again, luckily for you guys don't have the deadly, the poisonous, toxic
Yeah.
ones. And with the desert Harries, typically it's about as bad as a bee sting. So
Okay.
unless there's an allergic reaction,
Yeah.
then you're not going to see as much. Oh, speaking of the
here's,
dogs,
here's
there's
our other baby.
your other baby. Oh, she's even got a little heart collar and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
She doesn't like scorpions either.
She has clothes,
Oh, does she
No,
really?
she just needs a jacket when she goes outside when it's really cold because she's so little.
cold. It doesn't get cold in
Yeah.
Arizona. What are you talking about?
When you're 3 pounds, it is.
Yeah.
That's
But-
fun.
Well, again, we can't thank you guys enough for
Yeah.
coming out and taking care of this problem. It's been a big weight off our shoulders, and we've seen the results, and we're very happy with what you guys did, and thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.